Hi there. My name is Sarah Thompson. I am the founder and executive director of the Sacramento Kindness Campaign, and I'm going to be making something to eat today. And we're going to actually be making vegan quiche. And so, two things. First of all, this is the first of this series that we're doing. And so I think that there will probably be moments of things that we'll learn from not to not do the next time. But also, it's the first time I've ever actually attempted to make this vegan quiche. So I'm making this quiche for Keith Lowell Jensen, who's also here with us, and he and his family are vegan. So hopefully they will enjoy the fruits of my labor today. So
I have to correct you. I don't want to have my family have a false association. If you're thinking of giving them anything with a lot of cheese in it, they are not vegan.
Okay.
I'm the vegan in the family. They're vegetarian.
Oh, got
Give them
it.
all your cheese.
All the cheese. Well, today we will be using Gaia cheese, which is plant-based. It's made with oat cream, and we're going to be using this because it will be inclusive for all of Keith's family, including him. So if we were just cooking for his wife and daughter, then I would throw in all the cheese. So, okay. And we have a few categories of egg substitute that we can use. I went shopping last night for non-egg, and I saw this. It's called Just Eggs, with all the rest of the eggs, and I thought I can't use that because it's just eggs. So I went wandering around, and I picked up a couple of cans of garbanzo beans because the water that the beans are in is called aquafaba, and you can use it as an egg substitute. So, and I also got some tofu, and you can use tofu as an egg. You know, they'll have a tofu scramble and things like that at various places that you can enjoy. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and dive in. Normally, to make a quiche, I would use like 6 to 8 eggs and 3/4 cup of pancake mix, which for our gluten-free folks, I use Famola's, which is a great substitute. And for folks that do use gluten, this is like a Bisquick off-brand, or I'll make my own using the Bisquick recipe. So,
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah. So
you're doing something here to be inclusive of someone with different dietary needs.
Yes.
When Sacramento Kindness is feeding people, which is one of the many things that Sacramento Kindness does, what other kind of halal, what else comes into it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we were doing our subscription meal service in 2017, we got our first Muslim family who are halal very early in that adventure, cooking adventure, and they needed halal food. So I just went ahead and bought halal food that I made for everybody, and I continued using all halal meats for the duration that I was doing this subscription meal service, because then it was safe for everybody. And if I had somebody with a mushroom allergy, then no one would get mushrooms that week, and so on and so forth. But yeah, this time we're using the non-dairy cheese so that it's inclusive. So, and I'm going to go ahead and I think combine these eggs because I should have probably gotten like 3 of these boxes, but I only got 1. So let's have some fun. Let's make some vegan quiche. And I'm going to go ahead and start to pour my ingredients in here. Let's see here. Okay. And this really looks like egg. So see, it's yellow going on in there. It does look like egg.
Mostly made just out of mung beans.
Interesting. Have you been, how long have you been vegan?
Like 25 years.
Okay.
So yeah, almost half my life.
Okay. And so, let's see here. How many eggs? I'm not wearing my glasses. Can you tell me how many egg equivalents are in this box?
No.
I should have checked that beforehand.
I
But
would say it's
I'm
about
gonna say
5 or
it's
6 eggs.
okay, so I'm gonna add in 1 can's worth of aquafaba.
No, I'm a fairly experienced vegan chef,
Yeah.
and you are so creative that I can't wait to see how this comes out. I always take the easy route,
Yeah,
and aquafaba is fascinating to me, and I see people do amazing things with it, but I never work with it.
yeah,
It's just the juice from the garbanzo beans, and
That's
I see
it.
people make meringue,
Yeah.
and mousse.
yeah. And if you buy the dry garbanzo beans, you're just soaking it in regular water.
Right.
And after the beans have soaked and done their thing, there it is. You have this stuff that you can use.
It's even got a
right
good
away.
name.
Doesn't it? Aquafaba.
That sounds like a
Let's
superhero,
have some
vegan superhero.
aquafaba. Like, aquafaba.
Oh no, they're serving us meat.
Oh,
Here
no.
comes our hero, Aquafaba.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually, can you open this can for me? I'll have you do that. And should I put in a little bit of tofu as well? Should we just do a trifecta?
Go crazy.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And this one is silken tofu. And I'm gonna step off camera for just a second to open this. So let's see, I'll be right back. Yeah, I should. See, that's a great example of a thing we'll do differently
We're
next
learning.
time.
I'm going to be on camera trying to figure out Sarah's can.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like it's opening anything,
It doesn't? Okay. Well, maybe,
but it might be.
yeah. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Thanks for being patient with us, everybody. While we try to figure this thing out, this is pretty fun. I can play with the can opener if
And
you're having
I
trouble.
did not succeed in opening.
Okay, well, sometimes it takes 2 chefs in the kitchen to open a can of beans. If you wanted to know how many it takes 2.
I like how quickly I went from saying I'm an experienced chef to I can't open a can of beans.
Oh, I know, right? Okay, so actually, though, you might have done it. See, you did.
Ah, there we go.
You did it. Okay, so I'm going to take my handy-dandy, just little mesh strainer. I'm going to pour it right over the top here. And so we're getting,
And then later you can make some hummus.
yes, I can. I like making black bean hummus. Have you ever made it with black beans?
I thought that was called black bean dip.
Oh, well. But when you use tahini and some
Oh,
of the
you're
other
right,
specific
you're right.
spices, it's kind of hummusy. And, okay, so this is a pretty good amount of egg substitute. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some non-dairy milk.
I was supposed to bring the non-dairy milk and I forgot, but luckily our host had some almond milk for
Yes.
us.
Oh, speaking of which, we're actually in Gina Williams' home. And this is really full circle because back in 2000, I guess 14 or 15, when we were doing those freezer meal parties, Good Day Sacramento came and they wanted to film us, and they filmed us here in this very spot. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of milk in here. One thing, when I'm preparing vegan cuisine, I worked for a vegan family in college, and I got to learn all about like really fun non-meatloaf that you would make with cashews, and you know, different materials that were still so delicious. And do you want gluten-free or do you want regular?
I would go regular.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and one way that I really keep things straight in my head, if I'm working with somebody who actually has an allergy, then I do have some cross-contamination in my kitchen because we've cooked with gluten-containing products, but I try to keep it as clean as possible, and I totally separate the materials to keep it safe and inclusive. Yeah, but here's some regular Bisquick style pancake mix. I'm also going to just spice it up, garlic powder, which you can probably put like half a teaspoon of that, but I eyeball it. Oh, and this is do you like mushrooms?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the mushroom umami spice from Trader Joe's, which I highly recommend. It's very delicious. and a little bit of my house-made, I call it my house-made poultry blend, but no poultry were hurt in the making of this video. It's just, oregano and a few other.
So
Really?
it's not spice made out of poultry, it's a spice you would use with poultry.
I decided to leave my spice that contains poultry at home.
Okay.
Yes, so I didn't make a mistake there. Okay, so there's a few things, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt as well, which,
So one place where you've blown my mind already, the Bisquick isn't used to make the crust, it actually goes in with the quiche mix.
Yes, I know. It is mind-blowing, isn't it? Yes.
Now we sound like an infomercial.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that I kind of got everything here, and I think I did. So we're gonna go ahead and blend it up, and it's gonna be a little noisy
Yeah, so
here.
turn your volume down.
So, yes,
You've got
kids,
sleeping
cover
babies
your
next to you.
ears. Let's see here, did I get this to work? Let's see. Let me check here. I think I might need to just go off camera with my blender for a second.
Let me do it.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead and hand me the plug, and I'll go plug it in over here.
Oh, thank you.
I'll go off.
If it's having a hard time blending, we just want to add a little bit more oat milk. So,
Why don't you tell them
yeah.
how Stack Kindness Campaign? We
Oh,
always say it started with a quiche. What do we mean when we
Yes.
say that?
so it really did all start with the quiche. In 2014, I was having a little bit of a rough patch in my life, and we all know, I think a lot of people know, that the best way to help yourself to feel better is to help somebody else. And so I put out a message that I wanted to make a quiche for somebody who was hurting or hungry, and I got my first family that I cooked for a little while. It was a really nice lady who was about to start chemotherapy, and during the time that I cooked for her, she lost all of her hair, but she kept her sweet spirit. And if I need to mix it by hand, I can. But
No, I brought the blender expert in now.
yay, Gina, the blender expert, has entered the building.
Yes, I won't start.
Oh, you have to hold this part down.
Oh. There we go.
Thank you. That's great.
How long should we wait?
This is for long gripping. Yeah, that's probably great.
Okay, you want to stop it?
Does it look like it's mixed up?
It does to me.
Okay, good. All right. Well,
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's
thank
okay.
you. Oh, that's great. Okay. Now, I am excited. I am really excited because I do not have any idea what this is going to taste like, but I think it's going to be delicious. And sometimes I like to, if people are substituting one thing for another, I like to try to name it something a little bit different, like the vegan on quiche or something like that, so that your expectations are different and it can just be delicious on its own. I'm going to go ahead and mix. I've got the dyed cheddar, and I will pour it in here. And I mean, we use a lot of cheese in these. Don't be shy. Don't be shy with that cheese. And a little bit of this mozzarella as well. This actually smells delicious. I haven't used any non-dairy cheeses in a while, but that cheddar, I mean, really, this thing is almost halfway full of cheese. So why are
That's a
Sarah's,
lot of cheese.
why are Sarah's quiches so delicious? Well, there's a lot of cheese in there. So I'm gonna spread that out a little bit and mix it up just a little bit. Keith, another thing I brought actually, so I brought some tater tots, which I could, I kind of mixed up my directions here, but I could use these as a bit of a crust on the bottom of the quiche if you wanted me to try something like that.
Whatever you want, that sounds great.
Okay, I'm gonna just swap containers here, and I'm gonna start with this on the bottom, which is a kind of a fun modification, and then add the cheese on top. And mix it up. Oh my goodness. You guys are gonna have so much fun eating this, I hope. And
One thing about the chest egg is it takes longer than regular eggs to cook
okay,
and set up.
well, great conversations happen in the kitchen. And so, and anytime, have you ever gone to Lake Tahoe and tried to bake up there where it's a higher elevation than you're accustomed to?
No, I've noticed that my recipes always mention elevation when they're talking about how long to cook things and how to set things out. But
Well,
I have no idea.
everything takes a lot longer.
Okay.
And so usually there are children who are so excited because the timer has gone off and the brownies are ready, but they're not ready. And they're not ready for like another 20 minutes. So you always have to prepare yourself for that. But, and just egg will take longer to cook. So that's good. I don't know how long it's going to take to cook. I'm just going to, we'll do the shake test. So what that means is we'll put them in there. We'll put these in for like 35 minutes and then we'll just give it a little shake. And if it's still wiggly, then we'll give it a little bit more time. Would you like mushrooms in your quiche?
all the stuff.
All the stuff. Okay.
I want everything I have coming to me, Sarah.
Oh, okay. What is this? The craft station? Is that
Oh,
what
craft service.
This is the craft service for our tech crew today. And hopefully they will say that the best part of the day was the craft service.
One thing I run into when people are asking about Sac Kindness, what do we do?
Yeah.
Because in the history of Sacramento Kindness, you've done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So how does that all go together and maybe segue into what are we doing now?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, Keith. We've done seasonal campaigns over the years to fill really specific gaps in services. And so I think that what we've done over the years is we've gathered resources from generous community members like Gina, who's letting us use her kitchen today. I'm going to tell a little bit more about their family in a second, but and then showed up and said, how can we help? And that's my favorite part is we've been really successful at filling certain gaps. And so we've done, let's see, we started with, we worked with Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services and we helped furnish around 700 homes in 2017 because we said, how can we help? And that was the gap. I'm pouring this right over the top. Doesn't that look pretty? I'm so excited. Let's see how this goes here.
Molly commented, I love your fancy apron.
Thank you, Molly. I appreciate it. Miss you, girl. We gotta eat some spicy wings again with bugs. With hot sauce. Did anybody see us on Big Day of Giving when we were tasting different heats of hot sauce and we had to eat it on something, so Molly decided we should eat it on dried bugs, which is always a great idea. I wish that we had that wonderful picture of us that was posted. Somebody took a screenshot of our faces going kind of like this. But it was fun. It was fun. So next time you can toss your apron on and come cook with us. I am going to go ahead and toss these really lovely looking unquiches, vegan unquiches, into the oven, and we'll set a timer for 35 minutes. Pardon me as I step off camera.
I'm gonna keep you on camera here.
And here's a quiche that's all done and ready to snack on. This is not vegan, so I cannot offer you a slice.
That's what
to
these
snack on.
should look like when they're done.
Yeah, well, we don't know what it's going to look like, so we're gonna keep our expectations in check and see what it does look like and see how it tastes. But I have a feeling that whether it looks a little different or tastes a little different, it's really going to be delicious. And one of the things that we always wrote on every package, every food item that we ever made, we always wrote that it was.
I get my left and right mixed up when I'm trying to do this. There we go.
That it was made with love. And these definitely are. So I hope that you and your family can taste that. Okay,
All right.
let's go back in here. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Well, that's it. I did it. We've made a vegan unquiche.
All right. And with a tater tot crust.
Yes.
Tell me about the tater tot crust.
Well, we'll see how it goes, won't we?
That's something you've done before.
Yes.
And how's it gone?
It's gone pretty well. Some people prefer a regular crust, and I can always make a regular crust too. However, I've never made a crust without butter. So have you ever made a crust without butter, Keith?
Yeah. So the Miyoko's
Oh.
vegan butter
Mm.
is, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've had the Miyoko's mozzarella, and it is
My daughter loves it.
delicious. Yeah. So we worked with the food bank to help provide and continued past and helped feed folks outside of the food bank to around 700 families in 2017, and then in 2018, when the campfire happened in Paradise, we started helping families with access to trauma recovery, and we kept doing that pretty much until the pandemic, when Oak Ridge Elementary asked us to create family meal kits, which we did, and we fed at least 200,000 people over the course of the pandemic. Gina's daughter, Giada, she and her Girl Scout troop, they sorted a lot of meal kits for us. It took 2.5 hours to sort one 50-pound bag of rice, one 50-pound bag of beans, the halal spice mix. It used to have an onion, but the onions became the bane of our existence because one would spoil in a pile and you'd be like, what's that smell? So we took out the onions. But Giada and her troop, they spent at least 100 hours sorting meal kits. And I could figure out how many people that would feed, but I don't have my phone because it's being used right now. But a lot. And after that, we were asked by a local school district to create our Kids in Crisis family shelter and housing support program, which we have done now for a couple of years. We've helped 79 families. And
the schools, when they identify the child is experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity,
yeah,
they refer them to you.
Yeah. So different school districts have different ways of doing things. So one of the school districts will just tell the family about us and they call. Another school district we work really closely with their social worker team and we'll help them create roadmaps for families and really work in partnership really almost until they're housed. And we just love it. So we hope to continue to be able to show up and just say, how can we help
And
in this way?
And if someone who's watching wants to help us and get involved, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, everybody can help. They either have time or they have money or they have connections or talents. And so if you have one of those, we would love to hear from you. Recurring donors are always something that are so helpful because when we're between grants, we had to shut down for a little while this year while we were waiting for grant funding to arrive. And those recurring donors help us to hang in there and still keep helping families between grants. And but yeah, like one-time donations are lovely. And if you want to help us with, whatever, how do you want to help? Get in touch with us. And if you want to volunteer, we can try to connect you with an opportunity.
And what's the website?
It's www.sac kindness kindness campaign campaign.org, and there's contact us, or you can sign up for our newsletter in that way. So we would love to see you and hear from you, and I hope that if you decide to make yourself a vegan unquiche, I hope that you enjoy it and make it with love for your family or friend as well. So, yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to cook with us also, that's another way you can help. Get in touch. Let us know if you have a recipe in the kitchen that you would like to do. And Sarah, this was great. I can't wait to eat it. How lucky I am to be the subject of the first one.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. See you guys next time.